Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello, faithful Squiz Kids listeners, and welcome to the Kids vs. Adults Weekly News Squiz. Your chance to see who's had their listening ears on and been paying the most attention to the week that just was. I'm Bryce Corbett. All week in the Squiz Kids Today podcast, we've been bringing you the big news stories of the day, run through our kid-friendly filter to make sure you know all you need to know about the world around you. Now, it's time to test how much of the week's news you've retained, and in the process, see who's smarter, kids or adults. Plus, of course, because it's a Friday, we've got all today's birthday shout-outs and all the shout-outs for the weekend coming, including the birthday reggae tune, because it wouldn't be a Friday without it. So, here's how the quiz works. 5 questions for kids about the weekend news, then 5 questions for adults. Whoever answers the most correct questions wins. Simples. You ready? Let's do this. Alright kids, here are your 5 questions. Question number 1. On the podcast this week, we got the inside scoop that our Kiwi friends have invented a new pie filling. What tantalising filling are they putting into pies in New Zealand? Is it A, spaghetti bolognese and cheese, B, taco mince beans and sour cream, or C, marshmallows, sprinkles and chocolate topping? Sadly, it's not C, but it is in fact A, spaghetti bolognese and cheese. Question number 2. This week on the podcast, we discovered that a group of economists have taken on the challenge of calculating the environmental worth of animals and their poo. They've crunched the numbers and placed a whopping $2 million price tag on one particularly large sea creature, famous for its distinctive back. What animal am I talking about? Yeah, well done if you said a humpback whale. Question number 3. We caught wind this week of a heartwarming story from the Central African country of Cameroon, where babies and children are bravely stepping up to be vaccinated against a disease called malaria that is spread by the world's deadliest animal. Which animal holds that formidable title? And it might surprise you. Is it A, the mountain gorilla, B, the death watch beetle, or C, the humble mosquito? That's right, it's C, the mosquito. Question number 4. Our minds were blown this week when we discovered that Chinese scientists have conjured up an almost magical material. It's so groundbreaking, it practically bestows a superpower upon the people who wear it. What is this incredible advantage? And if you're after a hint, think back to Harry Potter's stealthy adventures with the Marauders map, sneaking in and out of Hogwarts undetected. What did he wear to evade detection? Yep, that's right, they've invented an invisibility cloak. Question number 5. This coming weekend, we're ringing in the Lunar New Year, a time when the Chinese zodiac spins its wheel to assign an animal to each year in its mystical 12-year cycle. Which animal will be stepping into the spotlight for 2024? And I'll give you a hint. Donkey married one of these creatures in the Shrek movies. Yep, that's right, I'm talking about the dragon. Welcome to the Year of the Dragon, people. How did you go, kids? How many did you get right out of 5? Do you reckon that's enough to beat the adults? Yeah, I reckon so too. Okay, adults, now it's your turn. Fire up the grey matter. Here we go. Question number 1. Which tech company launched Vision Pro this week? A set of high-tech goggles that apparently integrate the online world with real life and will only set you back a cool $6,000. Yes, of course, that company is Apple. Question number 2. Which former Aussie soldier, who seems to have made the courtroom his second home, headed back there this week to try and have an earlier ruling overturned? Need a clue? This individual has a name that rolls off the tongue in 3 distinct beats. Well done if you said Ben Roberts-Smith. Question number 3. American Music's Night of Nights was held earlier this week, and a whole lot of tiny golden gramophones were handed out. Amidst the glitz and glamour, one artist achieved an unprecedented milestone by snagging their 4th Best Album of the Year award, a first in the history of the event. Now, no hints on this one. If you're a faithful Squiz Kids follower, you'll have this answer on the tip of your tongue. Who dazzled their way into the record books? Yes, it was, of course, the one and only Taylor Swift. Question number 4. One polarising North Queensland MP was outraged this week after his $50 note was refused as payment for lunch at Canberra's Parliament House dining room, as the dining room had gone cashless. Who is this hat-loving lawmaker left hungry over the refusal of his cash? Yep, it is none other than Bob Katter. Question number 5. To finish us off this week, how much would you shell out for some 30-year-old sneakers? Probably not much, huh? Okay, but what if I told you these weren't just any old sneakers, but ones worn by Michael Jordan himself during his legendary 6 NBA championship victories? How much did one lucky bidder cough up at auction for those iconic shoes this week? Was it A, $2 million, B, $8 million, or C, $100 million? It was indeed B, $8 million. That's a lot for an old pair of sneakers. How did you go, adults? How many did you get right? Did you beat the kids? Who won bragging rights this week? If you've missed any of these cool news stories throughout the week and you want to refresh your memory, all of this week's Squiz Kids episodes are available for a re-listen wherever you get your podcasts. Well, that's the end of the quiz, which means it's now time for...
Shout-outs.
It's Friday, February 9, birthday for actors Tom Hiddleston, also known as Loki, and Michael B. Jordan from the Black Panther movies. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today and over the coming weekend. And there's quite a few of you, so I reckon, because it's a Friday, we ought to crack out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it! And it's a happy birthday to Harriet from Batteau Bay, Jennifer from Forest Lake, Leanne from Rapid Bay, Freya from North Manly, Manny and Madeline from Cannon Hill, twins Oliver and Oscar from Meadow Springs, Dylan from Castle Hill, Xavier from Yass, Zoe from Kingsway, Kira from Summerhill, Amelia from Sandringham, Amy from Sydney, Patrick from New South Wales, new listener Mackenzie from Calangur, and Carolyn, who's listening all the way over there in Houston, Texas. And belated birthday shout-outs go to Pranya from Oran Park, Coral from French's Forest, and Millie from Scone. Well, that's all we have time for. I hope you're enjoying these quizzes. Don't forget there'll be a new one dropping first thing every Friday morning. And the best bit, they're absolutely free. Just as our other excellent content is free too. We're talking a Squiz Kids Today news podcast on Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, a Squiz Kids shortcut or a Squiz the World every Tuesday, and for all the teachers out there, there's the Classroom Companion, our teacher-produced classroom activity sheets, curriculum aligned and tied to the Daily Pod on Mondays, and whose entire back catalogue is now available to be searched via our website. Genius. Check it all out at squizkids.com.au or simply subscribe to Squiz Kids in your favourite podcasting app and all this wonderful audio content will magically appear. For now, this is Bryce Corbett signing off and reminding you to get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.